All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Akakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the nation of Israel. This is going to be a lesson going into how this war that's going on between Ukraine and Russia is exposing you women, man. And it's showing that you're basically full of it, man. All right? You're full of shit, all right? Because what's happened here is that men are starting to notice that women like to claim equality, right? When it suits them. But then when things go bad, all of a sudden they remember that they've got ovaries and all of these types of things, and they remember that they're the weaker vessel when it comes to harsh times. All right, but when it comes to bad times, you don't ever see them trying to fight to have equality of any other things that men have to receive that are bad. All right, they don't want to have to receive true equality. And you had this guy that goes in on all you women, man. Kevin Samuels, he was going into how women are always talking about equality and was basically putting them on blast, saying, do you want to make 50% of the houses then? And he even went even further than that, to be fair, because he said that there's more women on the population than men. So do women want to make 51% of the houses? Do women want to be 51% of the electricians? Do women want to be 51% of the bricklayers and all of these harsh jobs? Do they want to be 51% of that? Or do they only want to try and have the benefits of what men have? That's the good things, man. Like all of this war is exposing that you women are full of it, man. Social media's already exposed how you women get down. But this war is exposing how you women are even more, and it's caused for this man to do what he did in this article that I'm gonna read. It says, man slammed for taking aim at feminists over Ukraine war, blasting them for staying quiet when all men have to stay and fight while the children, elderly, and women leaves. Now they've tried to add the children and the elderly in there, but his main target that he's going into is the women, man. That's the main. But they've tried to make it like he's just saying that elderly people should have to fight. Which I don't know about you, but 18 to 60-year-old men have been told that they can't leave, and a 60-year-old man in my mind is elderly. I don't know about nobody else, but that's elderly to me. And these women ain't got a problem with that. They ain't got a problem with that as long as they don't have to fight, man. But I guarantee a lot of women have been screaming equality and all of this stuff probably about a year before this, or let's say, in fact, 3 years before any of the lockdown stuff happened, right? They would have been screaming equality and screaming that women can do the same things as men and all of this. But what 3 years later, what are they saying now? Let me carry on reading. It says, a TikToker who goes by the UC. So they've even tried to put his username there, which is fair enough, like whatever, man. But they've tried to put his username there really so that other demons can try and get in and try and put comments on there hating on him as well, which I'm going to read some of the comments in a minute anyway. It says, has angered a lot of people on the internet. He posted a video where he voiced his outrage over not enough women fighting in the current war between Ukraine and Russia, and it sparked a lot of backlash. Ukraine announced Thursday that men between the ages of 18 and 60 were not allowed to leave the country and had to remain and fight amid Russia's invasion. More than 120,000 Ukrainians, mostly women and children, have fled in an attempt to seek refuge and safety in neighboring countries. And obviously women are going to bounce, man, because women already know what time it is, really, man. Women already know what time it is, but they're good survivors, man. So they'll say whatever they need to say to try and get the best possible thing for them. All right? Women use being a woman as a weapon. So they'll get in a man's face screaming and hollering, calling him a bitch, right? Poking him in his chest. You are not doing it right, mister. Poking him in his chest with their pointy, bony fingers, right? They'll be poking him in his chest and that, ranting and raving, hollering in his mouth, hollering in his face, yeah? And then if they get smacked up, then they're going to use that they're a woman again on the other side, and they're going to say, oh, they were like, oh, you hit a woman, and they'll start screaming and hollering and raving, man. That's how these women get down, man. They're very sneaky, all right? They like to use whatever potential things they can use to get the best benefit for themselves wherever they can get it, man. That's how they get down. Let me carry on reading this. It says, however, many women have stayed behind to help defend their country, but that's not the point that the man was trying to make. The point that he was going into was how men have been told that they can't leave. That's the point. And women ain't complaining about that. Women ain't complaining about women not being able to leave. And then they try I've already saw before I did this lesson that they start trying to say, well, what did you expect to happen to the children? Do you expect the children to just fend for themselves? A lot of these women ain't got children that are leaving. So that excuse is thrown out the window. A lot of these women that are feminists think that they don't even have to have children. In fact, if just watch any Kevin Samuels, man. Just watch any Kevin Samuels, watch any Fresh and Fit, and you'll see plenty of women that are in the age of that, in the ages of like 35, 45 and all of this. And they won't be wanting to have children. They'll actually be arguing why they should even bother have children in the first place anyway. They'll have a problem then. Let me carry on reading this. It says, however, many women have stayed behind to help defend their country, but with these women, it was a choice though. With some of them building makeshift bombs and weapons in their homes. The Wall Street Journal reported that 32,000 women are currently serving in Ukraine's military. Yeah, well, that was their choice too. Accounting for some 15% of total military personnel, which that therefore means that 85% is men. So that would still go towards this guy's thought process anyway, with how women are always talking this equality talk, but they don't want equality when it comes to the hardship though. And that's like Esau, man. Esau wanted to rule the earth, right? He wanted to rule the earth and tell everyone what to do, right? But now that everyone is starting to see that the earth ruled under him is not good, right? And they've got a problem with that. Now he's trying to sigh and cry. Now that everyone's ruled, let me get the scripture. Because Salaki, I've been doing a bit of talking, man. I've been doing a bit too much talking, but this is a heavy topic, man. This is Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 2. When the righteous run authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. So under Esau society, right, people are having to fight in wars that don't want to fight in wars. You understand? And then women that they're pushing for women to have equality under Esau society. But then at the same time, when it gets the chance to be showing equality, then the women get a favor. So men are getting pissed off with that. Men have got a problem with that. Because a lot of these women that they're expected to go and fight for and that they're being stepped over for, a lot of these women don't even want to deal with them. And a lot of these guys that are having to stay behind and are going over to fight against some mad Russian guy, right? And are going to probably get their head tops blown off, right? Or get their legs blown off, their arms blown off, right? Their woman, she'll cry for about a week or two, right? And then she's going to be on the next rod of whatever European country she's been scattered to, man. And telling her child to call this Polish man daddy, right? Or however you would say that in Ukrainian, man. Or however you would say it in Polish. She's going to move on. She'll move on, man. Because women are good at that too. They're good at moving on. Hypergamy, you know? They'll dip real quick, man. And let me get a scripture on this regarding these women, man. How you're getting exposed out here, man. Women are being exposed. This war's exposing you, women, man, that you're full of it. This is Isaiah chapter 32 and verse 9. Rise up, you women are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. And one thing I gotta say, man, I don't understand what you women really thought. Like, did you women expect that you was gonna try and say, oh, we want to be the leaders, right? And we want to be in charge of everything on the earth, right? And then you wasn't gonna have to deal what a leader deals with. Is that what you thought? And that's what you Edomites think as well. You Edomites thought you was gonna rule the earth and be in charge of telling everybody what to do, but then wasn't gonna have to pay if the world's wicked under your rulership. That's what you thought. And let me get a scripture on that. You Edomites actually believe that, man. And that means just goes to show that you Edomites and women think the same, man. And that Esau's just a weak man, really, man. This is Jeremiah chapter 49 and verse 12. For thus saith Yahweh, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken, and that thou, he that shall go altogether unpunished, thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. So Esau thought that he wasn't going to have to pay for what he's did, and was just going to be able to chill in the sunset and live it up, man. And let me get another scripture to make up for all the time I was just talking previously. This is Isaiah chapter 26 and verse 10. Let favor be showed to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly, and will not behold the majesty of the Lord. So in all the time that Esau's been ruling, he ain't did the righteous things according to what Yahweh says. Anyway, he's just carried on being wicked, right? and all you women in all the time that you've been trying to seek power and have been given more power, what have you did with the power, man? Apart from shaky whole batty crease online, OnlyFans, Snapchat, TikTok, TikTok, right? Instagram, Facebook, MySpace, WhatsApp media, text message, being hoes. What have you really did with a lot of the power that you have, man? But expect to be treated like a woman, right? While receiving a man's reward. That's like somebody trying to win the bronze medal, right? But they want the gold price, the gold prize money, when they only got a bronze. Or somebody not even being a part of the sport in general anyway, not even taking part in the event, but wanting some of the prize money. Ridiculous. Let me carry on reading this. It says, it's going into his name again. The TikToker who goes by the name, I'm not going to read it, online, sparked fury after he posted a video where he voiced his outrage over not enough women fighting in the current war between Ukraine and Russia, while hitting out at feminists for being quiet about it, which is true. He's right to say that, man. Why are you women running your mouths talking about feminism, right? Talking about equal and all of this, yeah? When you got the chance to be equal in something that would really show that women can hold it, right? That women can back it. You women had the chance to show you can back it, right? Like, oh, I'm macho too. I can handle it too, right? Or you got all these female songs, all the single ladies and all this stuff. Well, now you had the chance to show that you're really about it, man, but you didn't do it. And I'm gonna read some of the comments from this article in a minute. Isaiah chapter 32 and verse 9. Rise up, ye women are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. So all that flashy times is coming upon you, man. You're getting exposed, man. You're being made bare. All right? Tremble, you women are at ease. Be ye troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare. That means you're being exposed, man. You're getting exposed. And gird sackcloth upon your loins, meaning they're not gonna be dressed in that nicely apparel no more, man. They're gonna be exposed, and their times that they're gonna be in is gonna be a lot harsher. They shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant field, for the fruitful vine. And I've just saw a video as well on a YouTube channel that a brother posted up. He put it on his community tab, right? And it was a video of a woman that basically tried to join the army to get the free money, right? And didn't expect that there was going to be no war. And now she might have to go over and deal with the situation in Ukraine, man. So, but what was she expecting though? What was she expecting was going to happen if he trying to join up with Esau's army? What was she expecting is going to happen? And then now people are supposed to feel sorry for her though. But make a man say the same thing and people ain't going to feel sorry for him. So it is what it is, man. Let me carry on reading this. It says, once again, all the men in Ukraine have to stay and fight to protect the children, elderly, and women leaving the country, he wrote in the controversial clip, which has now been viewed more than 2 million times now. Men don't have a problem with defending their family, man, and defending their women and defending the elderly. Real men won't have a problem doing that kind of thing. But the problem is, these people that these women that are getting defended by these men are hoes. These women are sluts, man. These women are demons that they're expected to defend. These women wouldn't even give them the time of day. A lot of these men that are gonna get a bullet right in their heart, man, and a bullet in their head, a bullet in their leg, arm shot off, getting bullets in the shoulder, getting explosions, having explosives land right next to their eardrums, seeing other men getting blown apart. They're gonna be experiencing that for some women that don't give a damn about them, and that during a time when everything was nice, didn't give a damn about them. So a lot of them are probably not even going to want to fight anyway, man. And I wouldn't blame no guy that bounces from there, man, and tries to, and says, "Now I'm not doing it." which obviously a lot of men are doing that. Obviously. Let me carry on reading this. It says, once again, all the men in the Ukraine have to stay and fight to protect the children, elderly, and women leaving the country, he wrote in the controversial clip, which has now been viewed more than 2 million times. Where are all the feminists to say this is unfair? It's been really quiet lately, and that's true, man. Women don't, when it really goes down to what it is, man, women already know what time it is, man. Men know what time it is. Women know what time it is. But right now in this society, when everything's smooth, right, people are made to expect to believe lies. So a man can be in a dress, right, and people just pretend, oh yeah, his name's really Cassandra. No, his name ain't Cassandra. And yes, he does have a beard growing out of his face. And yes, he is 6'5". And yes, he really is a man. He's not a woman. But in a time of folly, right? In a time of peace, everyone will just be like, oh, let him be that if he wants to be. But when it really goes down, everyone will wake up and be like, nah, you're not, mate. Take the dress off, grab a gun, and get out there. That's what will really be getting said to a lot of these fairies running around trying to be on that doctrine. They ain't gonna be able to run with that in times to come, man. And us Israelites, we ain't gonna be back in Esau, man. Esau ain't getting us to be on no drafts. In any of these countries, over in the UK, Brothers of the Elect ain't gonna be rocking with that. Over in America, Babylon the Great, they ain't gonna be rocking with that. German, everywhere, man. Brothers of the Elect ain't gonna be rocking with none of that. Yahweh's gonna guide them to get away from all of that kind of madness, man. And now I think I've did enough of my talking, so let's go straight to the comments, man, that these women was leaving on here to show how these women, when they talk a good game, right? But let's see what happens when it comes down to it. When it gets down to the nitty-gritty, let's see what they've got to say. When it really goes down to the wire, man. Let's read some of these comments that they left this guy. These are some of the comments that they left on his TikTok. Let's get it. So like it's taking a bit of a while, man. Let me get it. All right, here we go. It says, y'all keep saying 32,000 women are fighting in Ukraine. Ukraine, you see that? Ukraine has 17 million women of age. That's only 0.00188% out of 17 million older than 18. Exactly. And that's what the guy wrote himself. Exactly. So they're talking like women are fighting, but it's not even 1%. It's not even 1% of the population, man, that are able to. Here's another comment. It says, what, should the kids just be alone in all of this? Well, of course, a woman's going to try and say that, right? But a lot of the women that have running away ain't got no children, though. A lot of them ain't got no children, and they didn't care about the men that had children also. Now, to be fair, in the Israelites' army, we don't have women in our army. But this isn't the Israelite army, though. This is all the people that are believing in Esau's Babylon juice, man. So if you're rocking with Esau's feminism talk, then rock with this. Rock with the part of being equal then. But they don't want to do that, do they? Here's another one. It says, I know that a lot of you guys have never experienced a woman genuinely enjoying your company, but that doesn't mean that you have to hate us. Now, she's right about a lot of men never experiencing a woman genuinely enjoying their company. And therefore, that's why a lot of the men are angry about having to be made to stay to fight, like I just mentioned earlier. A lot of these women that they're supposed to be protecting the country for don't even like them. So why the hell would they want to be dodging bullets to fight for these women to fight instead of these women that don't even like them? Why would they want to do that? Now here's another person saying a man literally started that war. So there's always an excuse for women, man. What you'll find with women, right? In the time I've been alive, what I've found from women is that they're really good at coming up with an excuse, man. Anytime you cut them, right? Anytime you cut them and they can't say anything, they'll just stop for a second, and their demonic mind's trying to program and it has something to say. And if they can't think of something to say on the topic that you're talking about, they'll try and change the subject to something else. And it might be something that happened 2 years ago. A woman might try and trigger you with something that she knows will get you angry. You know what I mean? So that you can try and get hype, and then she can try and be like, oh, I'm not going to talk to you when you like this. That's how they are, man. Demons. And that's why a lot of men are angry with this. Because they're thinking, well, if it happened over in our country, in the country I'm in, I wouldn't be accepting that. I wouldn't want to accept that. And that's why a lot of women are getting on this comment board that are probably not even from Ukraine defending it, because they don't want it to happen. They don't want to have to fight if it comes over to their countries. And if their country is expected to do drafts and all of these things, they don't want it to happen to them. But it's going to, though. Tremble, ye women are at ease. Here's one from Shay. It says, how do you take such a serious thing happening right now and twist it into this? Is not no twist. It's not no twist. He's pointing out something that's happening. Women are not joining. There's not a lot of women are not in it, man. Here's another one. It says, women in Ukraine are actually joining the army right now. Yeah, but that's by choice, though. That's by choice, man. And I've even seen certain things on the internet where women are doing certain things, but that's by choice. The men wasn't given a choice. You see what I mean? Let me read this one. It says, this actually incorrect. They are encouraging anyone to go fight. Couples have been joining together to fight at war. Well, that's not really a defense, because that means that men and women are fighting together. So that's not a defense, man. It says someone wrote, several women died the other day, fight for Ukraine. But I don't even know what OFC means, man. I ain't really with this social media abbreviations too much, man. Maybe it means of course. But of course you aren't bothering a quick Google. Someone's wrote, where is your mother? I don't know what that would have to do with anything. I don't know what it is with women always trying to mention a man's mum. Like, what do they want? Do they want men to be into incest or something? It's weird, man. But it's just like I said before, women are always trying to find any excuse to escape judgment, man. Even when in the scriptures, man, when Salakia, man, I forgot what I was gonna say, man. In the scriptures, when Eve was deceived, man, she straight away started blaming the serpent, man. Oh, he beguiled me. She never mentioned what she didn't want to accept that she did anything, and she couldn't even fall by herself, man. She had to drag Adam down with her too. When Sarah laughed, she tried to straight away lie and say she never laughed when she was told that she's gonna get pregnant. Me carry on reading this, and so lucky if I'm doing a bit too much talking and not that many scriptures, but I just want to expose how these women are quick to always make an excuse, man. But some of these same women will be right now over here in these countries where there's loads of women's privileges right now. They'll still be being proud, man. Walking down the street with their high heels, clicking and clacking off the concrete floor, with their chin elevated way far past what it needs to be. Being proud as hell, with all their fragrances that they bought from the fragrance shops sprayed on, spraying it in the air, and then walking through it and doing a 360 spin. Putting on them silk scarves around their neck and looking in the mirror and checking themselves from every single different angle, They'll be doing that. and then having the nerve to leave a comment here. Someone said, my guy, there are many women fighting in the military right now while you're sitting there recording this TikTok. Well, you're sitting there writing a comment on this TikTok. So I don't understand what that's got to do with anything. He's pointing out that women are quiet about women not having to fight the same way that men are. And he's right to say that. Someone else wrote, most y'all boys would cry your first night in boot camp. I served 4 years. Where were y'all? Now, men ain't intimidated by no woman, man. Right? The female Australian football team went and played against some 15-year-old boys and lost. And if I'm not mistaken, the score was like something crazy, like 11-0 or something like that, man. But regardless, they lost. Some 15-year-old girls could not play against the professional men's team and win. It's not happening. And it also checked and tested the 400-meter world record, right? The 400-meter world record holder. And then they found out that men around the age of like 15 years old or something like that was beating that record, man. They was beating that record. A large population of them was able to beat the female world record in the 400 meters. That are just like young age. So what's up with that, man? Men ain't intimidated by no woman, and any woman training in the army thinking she's tough. Well, you're not though, are you? They're not, are they? There's obviously every now and again some women that try and think that they're carnal and think they can handle it against men, but really, the strongest woman's not even stronger than the average man, if we're being real about it. And that's why there's such a thing as women's sports. If women were stronger than men and equal with men in physical things, well, they'd be in the army, and this postman wouldn't have made this post. Not this postman. This man wouldn't have made this post, right? And there wouldn't be no such thing as women's sports. There'd just be sports, and women would be able to do exactly the same things as men when they're playing sports. Can women do the same things as men when they're playing sports? No, they can't. So that's the end of that. Someone said, let's see how you can make this situation about myself. Someone says, y'all, I'm telling you, not hating women is so much less exhausting than hating women. It's easy, try it. Now, no man hates a righteous woman. And let me get a scripture on that. Right? Let me get a scripture on that, man. Because if a man sees that a woman's good, he ain't going to have a problem with her, man. This is Proverbs chapter 31 and verse 10. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. So if a man sees a woman righteous and virtuous, he'll see that her value is far above rubies, man. King Solomon tried to search to see if there was righteous women. He did that search for a reason. Because he wanted to see one. Because he knew that that would be a beautiful thing to see. Unfortunately, right now, it's not a thing that's common. It's very rare to see a woman that's feminine, man. These women are not feminine. And a lot of these women making their comments, well, let's see if they'll still make that same comment if the when war starts coming to the lands that they live in. Because you know that some of these women are not from Ukraine. You already know they're not. Here's another comment. It says, bro said, let me actually take a horrific event and take the opportunity to turn it into something misogynistic. Like, bro, get help for real, for real. You know what? But let me carry on reading. It says, Matt, there are literally thousands of females staying to fight as well. Yeah, but that's the thing. They've got the choice. And then it's annoying when men try and, like, stand up to defend women that are wicked, man. It's really annoying, man. Bro, half the time, men don't want us in the military. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, men might not want you doing a lot of other things, might not want women doing a lot of other things, but they'll still do them though, won't they? Men don't want women running their mouth, but she ain't got a problem doing that. Men don't want women being hoes that are their girlfriends, but I bet she's done that though. But when she's all of a sudden now got trying to defend what men want. Full of it, man. Let me carry on reading. Bro, half the time, men don't want us in the military, and if we do get in, we'll probably be sexually assaulted. I shouldn't have even said it out loud, man. The video might get clipped, but go off. And who made it like that? Yes, men. So no matter what, the women are always gonna try and say, "Oh, men are not letting." Yeah, they always got an excuse, man. Like I said before, like all men know anyway that women have always got an excuse. You obviously don't know your history, and it shows, whatever that means. Were you expecting people to agree with you? Well, some people do agree, and I'm going to show it in a minute, man. I'm going to show that certain men are agreeing. Don't act like this is about equal rights when you can't even begin to understand how those families are feeling right now, huh? Huh? Okay. All right. People are literally dying, and this is what you're worried about? Well, less people would die, surely, if some of these women got in to defend their country, right? But no one ain't caring about the men dying, though. They don't care. They don't care, man. But let me read and show that some certain people are agreeing with it anyway. And then obviously you got the Edomite racists that are gonna show themselves, right? And let me get a scripture on that, man. Because I'm gonna read some of these comments and you're gonna see that Esau's always got his racism in there anyway. Because people have got a problem with the women not being able to fight. People are defending that. But I ain't seen none of these Edomites stepping up to defend how Israelites over there are being pushed away from trying to flee into certain countries, though. They ain't got a problem. They ain't got nothing to say about that. This is Ezekiel chapter 35 and verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. And this is part of the blood. This is part of the blood that's pursuing you, devils, man. This is part of the blood right here. There's another scripture that I was looking for, man. When it says envy. And here we go. This is Ezekiel chapter 35 and verse 11. Therefore, as I live, saith Yahweh power, I will even do according to thine anger and according to thine envy, which thou hast used out of thy hatred against them, and I will make myself known among them when I have judged thee. And Yahweh's judging them right now, man. He's judging them right now, and blood's pursuing them right now. This is part of the blood pursuing them. But let me read some of these comments, and this is the comments from the Daily Mail, I believe. I think this is the Daily Mail, the site that I got this from. It's the Daily Mail comments. So the first set of comments that I was reading was comments that was put on his TikTok, right? And these next comments are comments that were put on the website that I'm reading this from. So some of them I didn't get to see all the comments that was on the TikTok, because these are the only ones that he put in the article. I'm sure that probably there was some people on the TikTok agreeing with him as well. But let me read this. It says, "The men cannot leave. He has 1,000% right to point it out. It's a man's world when it suits them. Why don't they go and build some houses too?" Exactly. So people are agreeing, man. My partner and 11-year-old daughter, I guess I suppose it said, and stuck in, I don't know how to say that, Cherkasy. Feel free to take some of your gangsters from the hood and rescue them. So there we go. That's with that racist stuff, right? That's with that racist stuff. But you know what Esau gets down already, man. All right? Men start these wars. Let them fight them. Well, men build the houses. Let them live in them. Men build the whole society. Let them live in them. Men build the buildings that you go to work in. So should the man have all the jobs then? That when it comes to that. You see how women's arguments are stupid? That's my bad. I didn't realize it was only the women with children who were allowed to leave. I honestly thought it was all. Sorry, I don't know what they mean by that. I don't know. Why force men to stay? Yes, a parent should go with children, but that could be dad or the mum, which is true, right? Which is true, man. Because let's say a man doesn't want to fight, right? Who wants a man fighting a battle with him that's not with it, man? Nobody. If you're going into a fight, right? When you read the story of Gideon, right, in Judges, there were certain men that was asked basically, if you're scared to fight, then leave, and they left. And it's better. It was the army ended up being with all the people 300 men that Yahweh wanted to fight, that Yahweh deemed worthy. But obviously these are Edomites anyway, so let them do their Edomite thing, man. That's not for us to worry about. That's their problem. Someone wrote he's right though, which he is right. All these women wanting equality, well then really be equal then, if you really are. While you down on one knee, mate, you can hold a gun then, or is that only drive-bys you do? You see what I mean? And then someone wrote holding the gun sideways. You see? So they always have to try and put in their hatred towards Israelites within this. You know, they've got a problem with him pointing something out about women, but they ain't got no problem trying to point out racial stereotypes on him. You see what I mean? Don't agree with the elderly, but he has a point with the women. What on earth is he watching? Because I see men and women staying behind. Does he want a flood of orphans after this war? Or should the kids stay there too to fight along their moms and dads? Someone needs to take care of their kids. Well, yeah, someone's already wrote it, man. Why not the father? Yes, there are women staying to fight, but they are being given the option. That's not really equal, is it? Exactly. And I'm going to leave it there, man. But I just wanted to quickly just show how this war is exposing the hypocrisy of women, man. And that really, they're not really about what they try and claim they're about, man. All right? And that's the same thing with us Israelite men, man, about how we believe in Yahweh. And a lot of women are claiming and saying that they believe in Yahweh really, but deep down they don't believe in him, man. And deep down, this is what they're saying. Micah chapter 7 and verse 10. Then she that is my enemy shall see, and shame shall cover her, which is unto me. Where's Yahweh thy power? So a lot of these women are really thinking, man, what this guy's always talking about, all this Most High talk, all this Yahweh talk, but where is he though? That's what they really think. They don't really believe. They don't really believe in Yahweh like we do as men. And even among men, there's different sets of faith, man. Because there's certain men that's faith level. When you see some of the things that they do, man, and some of the things that they can cope with, you're like, damn, man. Like that, I wouldn't be able to handle that, you think? Because each man's given his own spirit to be able to handle what he can handle, man. And I'm going to end the lesson there. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Makar Kwadash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. Shalom.